Good evening, everybody. So I'm here to pay, I'm Angelo Rivera, by the way, Director of the Economic Empowerment Program with Beth, co-founder for all these years. I'm here to pay tribute to Beth, and I think by extension I'd be remiss if not to her great profession, social work. Beth's work over the years has coincided with what we all clearly realize today, I think, and that is that domestic violence is one of the most important human rights issues of our age and will remain so for decades to come. Her quiet, persistent, egoless, highly effective work should be recognized as having had a seminal impact on the development of important and effective therapeutic remedies designed to secure the mental health of families and to protect the interests of victims, and not just within sanctuary or in the city or throughout the country, but the larger world as well. In addition to all this, we are here tonight, as Dorothy mentioned, because of Beth's wonderful collaboration with the Gina Gibney Dance Company, working to heal and to educate using dance and creativity to help domestic abuse survivors. She has traveled with the company to other countries, exposing this model of therapeutic intervention to both professionals in the field and many women and children impacted by this humanitarian tragedy. Beth chose a profession that suits her well. Social work is a complicated thing. Its mission is to work towards social and economic justice, and so it holds a dual focus. Individual well-being in social context. It confronts a still conservative, expedient, and egotistical world, which makes it unique and a bit of a Cinderella, although that means the story ends well and we all get to live happily ever after. I think it should. But social and economic justice is in her bones. Who knows how much we can attribute this to her late father, Sidney, or to her mother, Eleanor, who is here tonight, just a few years shy of a full century of life. Who knows how much of faith played in developing such an extraordinary human being? Who knows the role played by our community or the conflicted values of a great society, and sometimes not so great society? What we do know is that she is who she is and that the world is a better place because of it. That busting out laugh that she has, that intense kindness, that sense of reason, that sensitivity to the world and to life, both its joys and its horrors. That white girl that this great city produced, who transcends race and religion and country of origin, and is such a credit and an example to all of us who work and strive to make the world a better place. If you listen carefully to Beth, if you possess that level of acuity, you will hear a little bit of MLK, keep on keeping on, Cesar Chavez, adelante, although he actually never said that, but Beth said that.
I do.
And of course, a little bit of Margaret Mead in never doubting that a thoughtful, committed citizen is the only thing that can truly change the world. On a personal note, I have to say that I'm not a social worker or a therapist, which was not unnoticed when I joined the clinical department. I'm a guy, like many men, who tends to smear his toast, as referred to in Birdcage. And yes, I've been known to pierce the toast. But Beth never held that against me. She was never too proud or protective of her profession to see my lack of an MSW as a weakness or something to hold against me. 4 years later, I did traverse the great divide, and it was Beth who held my hand to get me across to the other side. And because of that, Beth and Sanctuary and a small army of social workers and no small amount of lawyers brought these two fields of work, social work and workforce development together in a way that had never been done before. As my program goes its own way or peels off or however I'm supposed to put that, I know my life is going to change, but I want to say to you, Beth, that a promotion in a department is no consolation for having to say goodbye. As the other man in your life over the past 4 years, I know that David won't be jealous when I tell you that I waited my whole life to cross your path, and that I will miss you dearly, and that I love you. Finally, this thing was left in my office when I took over from Catholic Circles. When I took over EP, and it's really the only thing I kept. And I suppose I did it because it's Emerson, and it's his great quote. To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or redeemed social condition, to know even one life has breathed easier because you have indeed lived, this is to have succeeded. This is to you, Beth, to a great success. It belongs to you.
So now, Beth, I think this is going to be a little like This Is Your Life. That's sort of the name of Sanctuary. So we have a little slideshow about your career at Sanctuary for Families.
The danger of being the fifth person to speak is that you will have heard some of the things already, or you will hear them be repeated. So I have the privilege of giving you an overview of the work of Beth Silvermania. And as my technician tried to help me with the PowerPoint, I will give you that outline. So, Beth, we're celebrating you tonight, as you already know by now. And, okay, you see, that's the danger of not having your own control. So, although you're celebrating Beth's 20 years in Sanctuaries, coming from 1994 to 2014, I'd like to carry you back a little bit about her work that she has been doing. So as you can see there, in 1968, Beth graduated. I'm sorry. Beth graduated with a master's in social work from Columbia University School of Social Work. Then she went on, that was at the very youthful age of 22. And in 1969 through 1975, she went on to the New York State Psychiatric Institute, where she became the co-founder, director, and the chief supervising social worker. She was also the community psychiatric in the community outpatient department, and also the day hospital. She was also had a faculty appointment at the Columbia University Department of Psychiatry. Between 1995 and 1996, Beth was recruited by the UK Department of Social Services to work on developing community-based programs and training. So she traveled, left the soils of the US to go over to London, and where she also volunteered running support groups at the London domestic violence shelter. This was one of the first we're one of the first programs where the domestic violence movement started. Through 1996 to 1980, back in the soils of the US, she was at the District 65 Union as the Director of Retirees Outreach Program, where she designed and developed a labor-based organizing and services delivery program for retired trade unionists. 1980 to 1982, she was a lecturer at the Columbia University School of Social Work. You know, I was hoping to be able to do this in like poetry and dance and animation, but bear with me as I just go through his achievement. In 1982 through 1986, she's still at the District Union at that point, she was the Director of Human Services, where she developed and administered a labor-based social service program for families. She also supervised about 10 social work interns at the same time. So if you notice the date, she was doing a number of different things at the same time. She wasn't just at one place. 86 to 94, she was still the assistant professor at Columbia School of Social Work. While doing all of these other things, Beth was also working on her doctorate and was awarded that doctorate in 1988. In 1994, Beth joined the ranks of Sanctuaries for Family, where she oversaw, at that time we had the non-residential and the crisis shelter services. Rosa Parks opened in 1995, and during that year she also expanded the services for children. Now currently the children's program are in four boroughs. Sanctuary as a DV agency has one of the largest children program or services to children in the city. In 1995, she developed a client-based mentors program. And one of Beth's passion is really working with clients. So for these mentors program, I just want to give you a little overview of and give you a little picture of some of the times that she attended. She was always at every training, the first day, to introduce herself and introduce the program, and she was always at each graduation. And there she is, giving the speech at the graduation in 2011. In 2007, she did an interview with some of the mentors, and it was a weekend. Two of our mentors met with her for the interview, and Beth was also there with them to give them support. Michelle Patterson, who was our former First Lady of New York State, also came to have a sit-down with mentors. And as you can see, anything to do with clients, Beth is always there. That's part of her passion with the work that she does. This is 2008. Our mentors program continued to grow from 1995 when it got started. And this is the team at that time, and this is her here again in 2011, giving her support and love to the mentors. Another group in 2011 and 13, And you should know that she was also there in 2014, even though I don't have a picture of her. So going forward from 1995, 1996, she expanded on-site psychiatric and psychological consultant services, speaking again to our holistic services, ensuring that clients were able to access such services on-site. In 1997, she engaged in the development and opening of the Bronx Non-Res program. And as you heard Dorchin talk about her in Cambodia, this is when she traveled there to do the training for the NGOs out there. And Dorchin said it better than I would have said it. So. In 1998, she hired a housing specialist for a crisis shelter program to help expand and give support to clients as they were trying to transition from shelter. At that time, she also became a member of the Government Task Force on DV Policies in New York State. In 2004, she was awarded, the agency was awarded a grant for reunification, where women with asylums who are reuniting with their children were able to access services to help them with that transition. In 2004, she expanded the clinical services for the West African Community Group, and you heard that mentioned earlier. 2005, opening of the Bronx Family Justice Center, that was the first one, and then after that, the others were opened over a period of time, more recently in Manhattan. 2007, she developed clinical services for the South Asian community. So just to go back a little bit to the expansion of services for the African clients, addressing FGM and forced marriages. When the clients heard that she was leaving, they wanted to put together something for her to remember. So they put together this with the supervision of Mariama, one of our art therapists, to put together this lovely piece, which they hope to frame and present to her. You can't see all the words written there, so I tried to highlight or pull out parts of it. So the one say, loving, thanks, thank you, African Women Group. You helped us find housing. Beth, you're kind. You helped us travel back to our home. You are the best, Beth. Love, dance, spa, these are some of the things she did with them over the period of time. And they also wrote a poem, which I was trying to get them to come and read. So I will read to them. I was trying to get Mariama, who she had brought with her to help her with this African community group, to come forward and read it. Oh, there she was.
Thank you. So Beth, before reading this, I want you to know that all of them wanted to be here today. More than 56 women said, if I said yes to all of them, I don't know how we would do here. So before reading this, they also told me to tell you one thing. That saying your name is very easy if you have English as a first language. But if you speak French or African dialect, saying Beth can mean something else. So they want me to say something, it's in French. I won't translate, but you are free to translate or not. But they all remember when you say in group, je suis bête, mais je ne suis pas bête. So they wanted me to tell you this. I'm going to read the poem.
You can translate. For those of you who don't.
So because bête is very close to bête, and bête is a French word that means not very smart. And all the time Beth translates that, like, I'm Beth, but I'm not Beth. But most of the clients come to call Beth, instead of Beth, even myself, I don't know if I pronounce it well, they say Beth, Beth. So that's fine. So,
I remember that cold and snowy evening of December when you took my children and I shopping in Harlem. But I also remember the first day my kids and I walked into your office. We were hungry and you gave us food. Beth, I remember the spa gift card. I also remember you sitting in the middle of a circle of African women during our school group. I remember all the backpacks and clothes. I remember the turkey for Thanksgiving. I did not know how to make the stuffing and cook the turkey. You sent me somewhere to get a turkey, a very well cooked. I remember your fight to get me a shelter placement. Your fight to get children back from ACS. Your fight to help us stay connected with families in Africa. I remember the love, the smile, the compassion. Beth, tu as toujours été merveilleuse. Tu vas nous manquer.
I thought there was so much more appropriate coming from Mariana. She worked so hard with these women to get to this point. And just in case you want to know what the English was for the last piece, you are and have always been marvelous. We will miss you. So to continue with that outline of Beth's as I said, clients are very, very dear to her. So anything with clients will really get her. In 2008 to 2010, so I'll go to the heavier stuff so that you can get up to the poetry. She helped develop and oversaw the My Door Economic Empowerment Program. It was a domestic violence city program which engaged clients leaving city shelters, domestic violence shelters, and provided support to help them attain a living wage job within 2 years. And that program ended in 2011 when she expanded the Economic Empowerment Program, where she hired a director with the background of workforce development, and under his leadership, the program has grown into a model economic empowerment program for survivors of gender-based violence. And here they are. A match made in heaven. And as I said, when it comes to clients, Beth is always there when there's something to do with clients. And so at every graduation since that program started, she has been there. This is her in 2012, speaking to the clients, 2013. And this is at the career readiness, so they did 2 programs, the OOW, which is the office operation, and the career readiness program, and she was at both of them, and this is one of their workshops that she attended. Again, after graduation, 2014, OOW graduation. And as mentioned earlier, also Beth developed an aftercare enrichment program for our teens. So this is just a quick picture of some of the other events of Beth. She's very picturesque. I just thought I'd put some pictures to bring them up and everything. And this was an advocacy day in 2007, I guess, an album day with other passion also is staff development. She's very big on staff development. So to that effect, she became the education coordinator within the clinical department. So beginning in 1994, she developed one of the largest supervised MSW internship programs in the city. She has managed many interns over the years. I mentioned earlier, she alone supervised 10 interns. That's a great feat. I don't think any one of us were able to do that. I tried 3 a year, and it was some, yeah. So, it's more than supervising staff. It's a lot more to do. We currently have 18 interns presently in Sanctuary Family, supervised by a number of staff members. Over the years, many of these interns went on to become members of the staff, and I'm a testament to that. Thank you, Beth, for accepting me as an intern. I know I was a late admission to the list, but you took me on, so I thank you for that. In staff development continued, she cooperated with many academic institutions to enable full-time staff members to earn graduate degrees while still working full-time, many of them with scholarships. And some of those institutions that she cooperated with was Columbia University, Hunter College, Fordham, NYU, Stony Brook, Yeshiva. At least 12 staff members went on to earn their master's degree and their PhD under her watch. She provided licensed clinical social work supervision and support, allowing many of our counselors to earn their clinical social work license while she was there. So, as I was saying, throughout this time, this 20 years, she was also still an adjunct professor, and still is, at the Columbia School of Social Work. She's a board member of the New York State National Association, the Social Work Chapter, and a delegate to the NASW Delegate Assembly. She's a recipient of the NSAW Leadership Award for the Industrial Social Work. She's published articles and chapters in academic publication, and she served as a doctoral committee for PhD candidate in social work. May I say more? So, just to sum that up, 1994, when Beth came to the clinical department, as you heard earlier, she began with a staff of 3 bachelor level counselors and 1 child care worker. Now, in 2014, the clinical department has a staff of over 60 with 33 level, master level counselors trained in multiple intervention models, including evidence-based practice, which has expanded the services that we can provide to our clients, both adults and children. She has provided numerous community-based training on domestic violence. And to bring it all together, her other passion is the arts. So she has worked to expand the integration of the arts into Sanctuary's program, including art therapy, creative dramatics, music, and movement workshops. 2000 to 2014, in 2000 she started this amazing relationship with Gina Gibney and her dance company. And together they have developed workshops for survivors of DV, trafficking, and other forms of gender violence. They've provided training to shelters and dance companies in this model in Austin, Texas, Montreal, Canada, Cape Town, South Africa, Istanbul, Turkey, Cape Town, South Africa, Istanbul, Turkey, as well as New York City dance companies. And here is Beth at an open studio at Gina Gibney. And some pictures of the many places they've visited and some of the work they've done. you know, retirement really never means retirement. Beth will continue her work, as you heard earlier, with Gina Dance Company, working at least 2 to 3 days a week, continuing the great work of incorporating the arts and social work. And we can't leave out love and inspiration without the support of our loving husband, David, who's here with her today, and as you know, her mother is also here. Thank you, David, for allowing Beth to be with us and to share this lovely spirit of her. Have a wonderful retirement, Beth. Congratulations, and thank you for your years of service to the social work and social service.